Good morning.
Good morning, and welcome back to another episode of the Don't Forget Your Shine podcast, brought to you by the Crude Hippie and Unfiltered Divinity.
Today we are going to be talking about unblocking the flow. Okay, Sarah, first of all, I want to say congratulations to us because the girl, we didn't get on our regular recording schedule, but it wasn't 3 months. It was only 3 weeks till we got here. So round of applause to us.
Yeah, it's about time, huh, guys? We're getting it.
I did a golf clap,
Yeah.
but
Golf clap.
it's like the little quiet.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so basically we were going through like a chakra awakening or like a kundalini awakening or, there's a insert awakening here, but we had like block chakras and this isn't like really an art, but it is an art and our creative juices were just like, ugh. And then we had like those distractions and then it was the holidays. But this time, like, I feel like we actually took the time to actually heal through this. And then like, I'm kind of ready to talk about it. So like, in this episode, we got to kind of dive into like how creative expression is deeply connected to your energetic body, right?
Yeah.
And how like painting and dancing or singing or any form of physical movement or mental movement or body movement is going to get those chakras moving, and just trying to figure out how to put into words how that's healing, how it's not the devil's work, because people say working the chakras are like evil, and I'm just like, dude, you
It's
just don't
energy. Like, the
right.
chakras really are just the flow of energy within our bodies. And unblocking them is clearing a path for that energy to flow throughout your crown, from base to the top, kind of like a pyramid. Like, we're just energetic pyramids over here.
Yeah. Why did I see why did I see why did I see Rick and Morty sitting on top of a pyramid? Are me and you Rick and Morty?
Okay, but can I be Rick? No.
You want to be Rick?
Okay, but I want to be Pickle Rick.
Which Rick? Which Rick, Sarah? Which Rick would you be?
I'm Pickle Rick. Well, actually, I'm Mr. Meeseeks, if we're being real, but like, if we had to be Rick or Morty, I would definitely be Pickle Rick.
Okay, I don't want to be Morty, so scratch that. We're on top of a pyramid. We're underneath us is chakras, and we are Rick and a Morty character. I want to be Mr. Poopy Bowl.
Mr. Pickle.
Or there could be two Ricks, and I want to be Die Hard Rick. But
Okay.
for real, going through this Kundalini awakening is like a Die Hard movie.
It really is.
Is it not?
It's not for the weak, that's for sure. We've definitely been going through the trenches and rebuilding and rediscovering a lot of within ourselves, and kind of coming to a point where we're like, we need to get this energy out. So we're finding ways to do that with dance, with creative energies, with painting, just different aspects, singing, worship, and sharing praise, just, speaking the word. Like, that's where we're at right now, is just trying to get those energy blockages moving so that way we can create something bigger, because we know that something massive is on the way and that we are in preparation to whatever it is that we are manifesting and building. But it's, how do you get there?
Right. How do you unblock those blockages? Where did those blockages come from, right? And that's what we're going to talk about in this series, the chakra series, is like what you get, the reward you get for the shadow work or the inner work or the forgiveness or the whatever you want to call when you work on yourself to become a better person. It's called so many different things, but it's all the same thing. Whatever you call when you work on yourself, it's the reward you get when you realize, you are out of alignment with your beliefs, with your truth, with yourself, with all of that. But it wasn't like, it's almost like it wasn't your fault, but it's your responsibility to realign. Does that make sense?
Exactly. You have to take your own power back. We get distracted so easily by the mishaps of life and the hardships that we kind of forget to put ourselves first or take care of like the self-care things or your own personal needs. And when you're trying to do the inner work or the shadow work or whatever you may call it, it starts with self-care in some types of way. So whatever that means to you. Like for me personally, there's nothing more healing than sitting down and releasing my feelings into some type of art. Because a lot of people are like, oh, how do you paint this or how do you do this and that? And the truth is, I just sit there and I let out my feelings, whatever those blockages may be within my body, and I just put it into something else. And that's why it's so important to me when I see my art get appreciated by somebody else, because I know what I transmuted with that and how how much it made me feel better in the long term. So to give joy to like something that was painful is a beautiful feeling.
How did you get past that, like the fear of judgment, like you're needing approval or praise? Because I'll get these spurts of like creativity where I do something outside of speaking because
Yeah.
I look at that as my gift, right?
Yeah.
Outside of that, like I'll paint or I'll write, but it'll come in spurts and I'll instantly start judging myself, or I'll be like, well, this isn't right, or the perfectionist. Girl, you should have seen me. Shout out to you for sending me the chakras and self-care book from, I'm going to butcher this name,
Yeah.
Ambi Kavanaugh. But I was trying to get through these first two chapters because I'm learning a lot, and that's basically along with the Devil's Rejected Church services with the Black Lily on TikTok. That's what I'm working through is like, why can I, like, in my head, I see it. I've done it before. I've seen it in spurts. Why can't I get it out? No, well, my chakras are aligned. That's what happens first. But then when the Kundalini or the serpent starts to rise and try to move between those chakras to work on the creativity, to work on your purpose, creating,
Yeah.
you are life and you are here to create life, whether it be a child, a project, an idea. When those are blocked, like I'm like, well, I know I can create. I got kids, I got
Yeah.
art, I'm a published writer somewhere. Why can't I, after times of like great distress and trauma, do I feel like I lose my creative ability? Like I feel like I lose my muse.
Yeah. I feel like we all often run into that block. And for me, the way that I kind of go around that is I'm a multifaceted artist. So I will switch it up. Like if I'm just not feeling it and I can't sit there and paint something, I'll go do something else like clay work or jewelry or sewing or something else. Just anything else other than what I've been doing, because it puts a whole new perspective and I kind of have to force myself to get out of that comfort zone of like, it's going to be perfect. Also, doing things that you don't even know how to do. Like, that's the main thing with art. Like, art doesn't have to be perfect. It has to be yours. It doesn't have to fit a specific mold. It's whatever you make it. You know what I mean? And often we get distracted because we live in comparison of, oh, this person does this this way, and I wish that it would look like this or whatever. But the truth is, it's yours. So it doesn't have to look or feel or be something that somebody else created. It's whatever it means to you. And it's getting that energy that is stuck within your body that, you know, you feel restless or you just, you don't feel right and you need to create. So you take your mind off of those things that are replaying in your brain and you put your hands to something where you don't have to think. And by not being able to think about what you've been stuck on and just putting that into this project, that's what transmutes it for me, or that's what really makes it the art that it is. It's because I'm not thinking about what so and so would think or if people are going to buy it. Because it often, like, as it's being a business, when you take your art to a business, you get caught up on people. What are people going to want? What are people interested in? What's the trends and all these things? But that takes away the true fun of it because you're not able to express whatever it is that's going on in your brain. You're worried about the market. Art
Yeah,
shouldn't be
that's what, oh, go ahead.
shouldn't be about the market. It's about, I really need to get this out of me and change it into something else.
Yeah. That's what happened to me as a photographer. How long was that? So 2009, I became a mommy. 2010, I decided I was going to go to culinary school. That was in October. And then by 2000, like December 2010, I was like, I got this opportunity at Walmart to learn like from scratch, no education degree necessary. And I did that until the company went under in 2017. And then I started my own business. But once and I did my own photography from, like, I always had a camera. I didn't always have a phone, but once, like, a camera, if I didn't have a phone with a camera, I had a digital camera. And
Yeah.
then, like, when I started buying my own cell phones, I didn't care about like the latest processing system and that shit. What does the camera look like? But
Yeah.
I'm out of storage right now. I just told you I can't send or receive emails because I have too many pictures. And I'm just like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
I deleted so much stuff last night and it's still blocked. And I got a terabyte. I have a terabyte of Google storage.
You're just like, oh yeah, no, I feel it. I run
So
into that problem a lot too, so I get it.
So like I got all off track. Oh, so like I've been able to express my way. I like the way that came out.
Mm-hmm.
I've been able to express my way creatively in different, I think artists call it mediums,
Yeah.
but because of my fear of rejection or like being judged, I
Mm-hmm.
don't feel like safe to do it. If I feel like I'm going to fail, I'd rather not. And it's just because I've not to be like brag on myself, but like anything that I've tried to do, I've always been good at it, but it's not because I'm good at it. It's because I'm afraid to fail at it. And if something gets too hard or I can't give it, I give it up. And I know that's like the ADD or the TISM, but like if it's my special interest, I told my son that the other day, I was like, and I don't know how many people's gonna like this little joke or whatever. I was like, but what if I'm not spiritual? What if or what if I'm not Christian? Like either one.
Yeah.
What if I'm neither one of these things? I just have autism and both of these things are my special interest and they have been my whole life.
But that very well could be it. And I mean, I resonate with that completely. But
Do you really?
yeah, I do. And okay, so let's touch bases on what it is to be a metaphysical Christian or like believe in the metaphysical, because that is a whole perspective on the whole thing. Because when I say like I'm a metaphysical Christian, it just means that I believe in Christ consciousness, but I don't necessarily am taking the Bible literally. It's more like
Like word for word.
metaphorically. Yeah, it's not living by the book, it's living by the source of something bigger than something. Like I definitely believe in the higher power and oneness, but what if our relationship with God is really our relationship with becoming an awakened being and understanding, what the mission is here.
And being creative. But
Yeah.
you know how I stumbled over my words a second ago?
Yeah.
And I was trying to say something, but I said the way. And what popped in my head or what I heard was it's not about living by the Bible, it's about living by the way.
Yeah. Then that's exactly, it's the
Son.
structure behind it. That made me a better person to find faith when I didn't grow up with it. But,
Girl.
you know, this is what I got from it. And my relationship with, the divine and this higher power of source of whatever you may believe in, because I'm open to everyone's religions. I believe that we should have the liberty to believe in whatever we believe in. but it doesn't necessarily have to be by the book and word for word, because when we go word for word, we miss things. When we're sitting here
Well, not
focused on that, we lose sight of certain things in the real world of, how we treat other people. I feel like it could become more of like what we're talking about, of kind of a blockage, because you're worried about what other people may feel or project you as when you create these things or you talk about these things. That's really interesting, because for me, art is something very natural. It's something I grew up doing. It's something my dad would draw a squiggle on a paper and be like, make something out of this. So for me, that was very natural, but I didn't grow up in the church. I grew up thinking there's something bigger than us, but I don't know what it is, whatever. And as an adult, I had found spirituality and religion and explored that. So for me, I worry about talking about specific religious things because I don't want to be corrected or be told that I'm this Jesus thumper or whatever.
mm,
And that's something that I'm learning to be more comfortable with, is speaking about my faith and exploring that. So it's really cool to me to be able, as an artist, to talk about these energy flows and my healing process, because that's truthfully how I even manage life, is creating art. Like, that art gets rid of the mental illness, right? But so does Jesus or, whatever you believe in. So it's kind of hand in hand of, I don't really care what people think of me, but I do when it comes to God, but I also only care what God thinks of me. So take what you want. I don't know if that doesn't make sense or it does, but I think it's all about answering the calling, right? Like, God gives you an eye for things for a reason. Like, you have an eye for photography for a reason, because he gave you the ability to see things through a different lens. So that way you could show other people and inspire other people. And there's nothing more powerful than going outside and taking a picture of a beautiful flower or a tree, or, you know, the people who appreciate it. And eventually the right people will see, what I have to offer and appreciate that. But it's having the courage to just step out and be yourself and do the thing, and, be uncomfortable with other people perceiving you, because it doesn't matter if you know that you're a good person and that you're cool and you're comfortable in your own energy, and you know that you add significance into other people's lives, and like, you're not, being a piece of shit and like talking down to people or, whatever. Like, if you're doing the right thing and leading by example, then it doesn't really matter what so and so thinks of you, because they're always going to be watching, and there's always going to be people who are projecting something onto you because they wish that they had the courage to do what you do. You know what I mean? That's it. Like, if somebody's sitting there judging you because they think that yours is whatever, your art is whatever, and I don't care what people think of me like that, because I know it's for me.
you know what I just seen?
Yeah.
I seen the old lady from I seen the old lady from Monster Inc., right? But she's got on her phone and she's scrolling through TikTok, and I heard her say, "I'm watching, always watching."
Yeah, but like, watch me. Like, keep watching me. Give me that. Like, I don't care if you don't like me. I don't care if I rub you the wrong way. I don't care if you love me. Like, I know that I'm doing it for a good reason, solidly from my heart, expressing myself in whatever way that I know that I need to. And if people don't like it, they can suck it. Like, go scroll. Then there's 5 billion people that you could scroll and hate on other than me. Why do I care what you think of me? You know what I mean? Like, people don't, like, okay, being the crude hippie and making little penises and like being famous for making little penises. Okay. I started on Etsy making little penises, selling them to bachelor parties. Like, do you know how many old people I have offended in my days? And like, I'm loved by old people, but like, and they appreciate me because they know my heart. But when they see that you make little penises, they're gonna have something to say. You know what I mean?
Do you know how many times you just said little penises?
I know, because it's real. Like, people are like, oh my God, you're selling dicks on the internet. It's like, okay, but we're growing up in this age where everybody's selling their buttholes, and I refuse to sell my butthole. So I'm going to sit here and make little genitals and, live my best life, and other people appreciate it. And if
I'm
they
just
don't, they
saying.
don't.
I'm just saying that if you're in a small town in North Carolina and you see a red little, what'd you call it? A red little penis.
Yeah.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
No, you didn't. If you see him anywhere, if you got him, if a magical little wiener pops up on the back of your tail light because you parked like a dick, no, you didn't. You
No,
deserved
you,
it, okay? Because the
Jesus
creepy
loves.
has stopped. Jesus loves you, but Jesus, Jesus loves to tell you that you're a dick, and maybe you should adjust your attitude, sir. No.
Have the day you deserve. That's the stickers I want to make. Have the day you deserve.
Yeah, like I don't know. Life does not have to be so serious. It doesn't have to be so, by the book. And
I just thought about, people who drive Jeeps.
yeah,
They get ducked.
you get dicked.
I want to go around dicking people.
That's what I'm saying. I sent her a bunch of dick stickers, and she's like, Sarah, I'm not gonna sell these dick stickers. And then she shows everybody else in her family, and they're like, oh, but I'll do it. And you know what I mean? It's just, you gotta do things for the plot. You gotta do things that make people uncomfortable, and not really give a fuck how they're gonna react to you, because people are just gonna react. That's what they do. Like, that's what we're here for, is, to have some type of reaction. Even with this podcast, we're hoping you have a reaction. You know what I mean? Like,
Speaking of getting erection, I may have started a church.
yeah.
I may have started a TikTok church.
But, like, tell us about this church, because this is not your stereotypical church.
No, it's not your stereotypical church. Okay, I may have started a church with a good friend of mine who may or may not be psychic. Her name is the Black Lily. Pluck your friend moment. I think it's that one weird chick, the Black Lily. But she called me one day and we were just talking, and I don't remember what we were talking about, but after she got the phone, and isn't the first time somebody said this to me after having a conversation. They're like, I feel like I just went to church. Okay. And then, so a week went by and she was like, or I told her, I was like, thanks anytime, Jesus loves you, something like that. And then a couple of days go by and she messaged me and she's like, can we have church again? I was like, well, yeah, I do this every morning, but I usually do it by myself. I think we're like 3 weeks in and we're like 5 days a week, 4 or 5 days a week. We have church every morning, but she lives in like Central and I live on the East Coast. But if anybody's ever in between the hours of like, I don't know, 7 and 11, and they want to come to the Church of the Devil's Rejected, follow us on TikTok, Unfiltered Divinity and the Black Lily and the Crude Hippie. Come one, come all. You can come to your pajamas. You can come from your garden. A lot of people don't want to go into a church building. I am that person sometimes, but I also adore live music. And somebody who's never been to a concert who adores live music, how do you know? It's because I grew up in church. There is a different frequency when you hear them drums and that organ go ding 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 ding.
I love the organ so much.
So I like going to church for the music, but this is more of like we're just keeping it real. It's kind of like the podcast. If you want to see my face, you follow me on TikTok.
Also, guys, we are going to start recording very soon. I know a lot of you are like, hey, why don't you have visuals to this? Now that we are on all platforms, it is going to be a lot easier for us to make that type of content. And we've discussed Discord and other things too, as well. If you would like to tune in with us and, just be a part of the discussion, we want you there. So
I love putting streaming on all platforms in my videos.
I know, it feels so good. And it's just like, we're doing our best out of here. We're two girls in two totally different states with totally different time zones, and we're just making this shit for you because it's important. And, we like to yap and we're here to yap all the time. So check us out. If you want to go and check out her church, please go do that. If you want to go follow her and the Black Lily, please go do that. They're amazing. They make great content on so many different video topics. And I feel like Nicole is very, very entertaining. So definitely go and check us out. I'm kind of the Jack Black of the group. I don't know. I'm just posting what I'm posting. Like I said, I'm just creating. And if you like it, you like it. And if you don't, you don't. But these ladies really get in there and are very insightful and could help you in a lot of different ways, whether you're looking for spiritual guidance with, God or with tarot or with whatever. Lily has a lot of really amazing videos that are very in depth with spirituality. And, like she said, she's a psychic. So give her some chance there. Let us open some room to have these types of conversations with you guys and let us know what you want to talk about and who we should bring in to interview because we care.
And she's really next week, y'all. When we say next week, y'all know that means next episode because time is a construct. Next week, we will be diving into the root chakra. And we started touching on it when we went through the mother wound and the father wound episodes, kinda. And our moms are still going to be on here, but
yeah,
in God's timing. But we're going to touch on the root chakra, and the root chakra is where childhood trauma, abandonment, your sense of security, all of that, where you hold like generational curses and stuff. That's what next week's episode is going to be. And Lily is helping me with that one. And maybe you think she'll come on, Sarah?
I hope so. Yeah, we should definitely reach out to her and let her know that we want her to be a part of this and to give her insight and perspectives on things, because I do think it's really important, because this is something that we all are facing and we all are growing through in different aspects, because we all have different traumas and different things that we're working through. You know what I mean? So it's nice to be able to kind of collaborate and explore different perspectives in the healing journey that has been all of those things.
Oh, snap. I just realized Lily is going to be my first guest.
Mm-hmm.
If she comes. But yeah, she's really been helping me. I've known her for probably about the same amount of time I've known you, really.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was the same kind of connection. You've heard our story, but yeah, same kind of connection, same genuineness. The reason though I really want to encourage her to come on is because not only is she an amazing tarot reader, she's also an artist. She's a tattoo artist. I'm going to let her shout herself out. I'm going to give her this plug me session, but she's also got a degree in psychology.
Her mind is a very interesting place. I really enjoy following her for that.
She's one of the smartest women I've ever met. And I've been in rooms and rubbed shoulders with a lot of women. I've worked in a lot of different places and a lot of different like business and corporate settings. She is the most intelligent woman I've ever met, literally.
Yeah, I love that so much.
Shout out to her.
Girl, we hope that you really feel flattered in all of this, because
this might be a little bit of manipulation or a guilt trip, but it's out here now, so we'll see you next week.
No, I just think it's important to give credit where it's due. You know what I mean? When somebody inspires you, it's important to let them know that and give them recognition. And especially when you do the type of work that we all do, like, it really matters giving those people a place to be like, hey, you know what? This person's really cool. Check them out. Go check them out on everything. And hopefully they'll like to join us one day for a conversation, because we're looking to, give food for thought and to have something that we can look back on and learn from and help other people with. And honestly, it helps us because we're unlocking and unloading all of these things within ourselves that we're trying to figure out and we kind of have an understanding of. But to be able to have these conversations is very healing. And I know that our audience truly appreciates it because they're just on the same path, you know? We're all just doing the damn thing, trying to become better people, trying to grow through what you go through and heal from shit that we didn't ask for. And, you know, it's all a part of the process. So if you're here and you're tuning in and you're spending the time with us, like we really appreciate the fact that not only you're spending your time with us and choosing to be here, but also that you're doing that for yourself and that you're giving yourself that space to, you know, not have to think about what everybody else thinks of you. Because I think that was a big takeaway in this episode is it's okay to seek validation from other people, but you have to be confident and comfortable within yourself to know that you're just doing the best for you and that the right people will always stand by you. And anybody who has anything negative to say, it's most likely a projection of they see something in you that they wish that they could do themselves. So don't take it personal.
Don't take it. It's not personal. It's spiritual.
Yeah,
And
all
with
is.
that being said, do you have anything else, Sarah?
No, we'll see you next week.
All right. Oh, you guys know I love you. We love you. Spirit loves you. Go outside and touch a tree, and we will see you next week.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in.